amazing directorial debut. Please give it up for the amazing director, Michael Shanks.
So surreal.
I'm so excited. I've been amped about this film since South by.
Oh, right.
It came out Sunday, so
yeah.
I've already had quite the ride.
It's been crazy. I'm still not used to the fact that I didn't watch the screening with you guys tonight, but I was over the road having dinner. And it's just so weird being like, they're 20 minutes in, they're up to this scene, okay, then 20 minutes in, Dave Franco is swallowing hair around. Just imagine you all watching it, so thank you so much for being here.
Love it. Yeah. Someone else is joining us.
Oh, yes, because we need your chairs.
Yeah, we need another chair up here. Please give it up for Allison Brie.
Also, thank you to the people that I met who were first in line today. That have been here since 3:30. Thank you, man. Thank you so much. Hope it was better.
Yes. I love this movie. So again, congratulations to both of you on this incredible. He is just like so confident, so sure, just like badass, and it's awesome. So let's get into it.
Let's do it.
With this story, Michael, you had it inspired by you and your partner's relationship. So take us back to the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's so.
I go to podcast and it's like, I don't really want you to do this, but it's okay.
Yeah, it was a movie that she was upset that I was writing, but she was like, but it's good, so do it.
Inevitably, she did tell me she was happy that I was playing her.
Yeah,
that was
exactly.
a small win.
100%. And full credit to Louis, my partner, who came up with the bathroom sex scene idea, which is the best scene in the movie, I think.
It is my favorite scene.
When I told her the premise, she was like, oh, they should stick together having sex. And I'm like, no, that's too far. And I'm like, why is that too far? Like, let's do that. But yeah, I've been with my partner for 16 years, and I think this idea kind of came about when we started to live together, and we had all the same friends. We'd be like this friendship group that's kind of moved suburb to suburb since high school, and just realizing like, oh, we have the exact same friends, we eat the same food, we breathe the same air. And I was sort of having a panic of like, I'm not a full person without this other person in my life. I've never been an adult with this sort of other half in my life. So that was a real kind of jumping off point. But even though there's like scariness about like, it's about the anxieties of being in a relationship, I sort of think by the end there's maybe kind of a happy ending.
I think so. Awesome. And so you've got this idea that you're going around, and then you've got the script, and you're starting to talk to people about it. When did it end up with you and Dave?
Well, I mean, I'll speak on behalf of Dave, who couldn't be here tonight. He's flying back from a Colbert appearance in New York. Woo, Colbert! But I was able to sort of audit your first meeting with him because it was over Zoom. So Dave and Shanks met about another script, sort of loosely, a general meeting, but based around a script you'd written. And then you guys started talking about horror movies. You were complimenting him on Dave's directorial debut, The Rental.
Which is great.
And just talking, about your love of horror. And you said, I happen to have this horror script if you'd want to just read it. It didn't even say, it was very casual. Dave
I was
said,
too embarrassed to say, do you want to read this and then maybe be in it? And then maybe choose your wife, Allison Brie. She would also be in it. Okay, thanks, fine.
And that's exactly what ended up happening.
That's what happened. Like, that was like a goal. Like, as I've said to you before, in the way that you guys have Zoom set up your home, it's facing windows, and I could see in the reflection a sort of feminine
so
walking around, and I was like, this is...
It is so funny because we really thought it was alright. Dave read it, sent it to me and was like, I feel like we should come in and play these characters and we should produce this. Like, let's come on board to this movie and like get it made, and we felt like it was our idea, so good job.
Yeah, I mean, it was, as somebody who's been making films for 17 years, you know, like short films and online stuff, but you know, always kind of wanting to kind of move into feature space, and then having this sort of just chance encounter with Dave and yourself, and then getting that call being like, hey, how would you feel if David Allison starred in the movie? And I'm like, yeah, I feel pretty good. And I got that call whilst I was literally walking to the pub to meet my friends, and I was like, so, weird thing happened today, guys. Down in Guinness, it was amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Truly, like, filmmaker's dream. And what stood out about this story for you and Dave and made you, because you read it like very quickly, right? And you were like,
yeah, I mean, the script just blew me away. I think the slow, steady build of the movie, the horror set pieces just were so bold and so unique. I mean, to Shanks' point, the sex scene did really get me. The hair scene, like the way that the set pieces built on each other and the way that they were tied so firmly and so beautifully to the theme of the movie. Nothing felt like an arbitrary scare, you know, and I think what I've come to really love about horror and the genre space is the way that you can explore deeper themes and then sort of extrapolate them to their most insane conclusion. And this movie was doing just that, and in a really tight way. It was well written, it was funny, which I wasn't expecting. And I also think that Dave and I thought that us being a couple who have also been together over a decade, that would sort of inform the characters. It made a lot of sense that the meta quality of having a real couple play this couple in the movie would actually elevate the material, not work against it.
totally. So they passed chemistry.
100%. And on the being married thing, like we always talk about this, but we couldn't have asked actors to do what you guys did if they were not a couple.
Every single day on the shoot, Dave and I would be like, how could you make this movie without a couple? While we're attached at the arm and I'm sitting on the toilet peeing, being like, hand me toilet paper. We're like, I just couldn't visualize doing this with another actor. Right? That would be so crazy.
Did that ever cross your mind, or were you like, this has to be?
Like us peeing at the same time?
Yeah, I thought about it every single night. Well, it was sort of, it didn't really become clear to me until we were on set, and I was like, oh my god, this wouldn't have worked any other way. Because also we had a very limited amount of time to make this movie. We had about 21 days to shoot it, and an ambitious film for that, because I am kind of a maximalist filmmaker. Like, I wanted set piece. And so when we were shooting, it was like, it really helped also that our lead actors went home together every night, presumably could run lines, and they had good chemistry, they liked each
Let's
other.
practice that bathroom scene. Truly, it was advantageous. I'm just kidding. Hold yourselves. It was advantageous in ways that we didn't even realize, like the shorthand that Dave and I have with each other, and that getting to run lines. Like, we knew that when we came to set, we would only get 1 to 2 takes for performance, because Shanks he's such an ambitious filmmaker, and you had such amazing shots planned and everything storyboarded, and you were always scrambling to be like, oh, all right, I guess we can lose these 10 shots.
Yeah.
And we had an amazing DP, Jermaine making, but still it was like, you know, we didn't want to be spending time, we knew we didn't really have time on set to be having like deep actory conversations about the characters and stuff like that. So it really was helpful for Dave and I to be able to look over the scenes the night before together, troubleshoot anything, and then also just like not have to always be super polite to each other because we know that we love each other. Like, we weren't rude to each other, but it was just like, maybe sometimes speaking to each other in ways that I wouldn't speak to another professional actor. It was in a good way.
A shorthand.
Yeah.
For sure.
Dave said something quite sweet throughout some of his press, where he said he loves acting in front of you because it forces him to be truthful, because you know him so well that he can't be false.
Definitely, and I feel the same way. it is like the ultimate bullshit meter. Is like this person I've been with 13 years, he knows every facial expression I could make, and we've worked together a bunch before. So it's true, as soon as we get in front of each other, we can feel it. It's not like, I also feel like neither of us has ever had to tell the other one, that was fake. You know, I think that we can just feel it, and it does bring a truthful quality of this.
Well, and that was really helpful for me because as like a filmmaker, I was very confident with the like horror set pieces and the kind of action sequences, that sort of stuff I've been doing my whole sort of career. But everything I've been doing up to this point has been couched in a sense of irony. It's usually kind of straight comedy rather than something like this, which has a lot of like earnest and sincere emotions in it. So when we were going to shoot that driveway scene, for example, and you guys are kind of crying at each other, and like that was the stuff that I was freaked out about because I was like, I don't know how to direct this. Like this isn't what I'm good at. I'm so insincere, and just like you guys having.
You did know how to direct it though.
But like you needed such little direction if any because you guys were just so good and so real and raw with each other that was always just super easy for me.
I mean, I think that the other thing about working with Dave is that we trust each other so much that then that enables us to take bigger risks with one another. And, you know, in the amount of time that we've gotten to know Shanks before starting to shoot the movie and watching your short film, Rebooted, that I. But truly, watching Shanks' short Rebooted was a big thing that incentivized us to trust Shanks in taking the risks of this movie, to play these roles. A lot of the things that we're doing in this movie are really putting ourselves out there, and we had so many discussions with Shanks about the characters beforehand, and then trusting each other so much, we really could just throw ourselves into everything. And
like literally, you would be
truly
throwing around on ropes and winding.
And because we had such little time to do, there was no time enough. I think it was a really fun part of shooting this in terms of the physicality and the emotionality. Like it's funny with crime scenes that actors, I feel like sometimes you get yourself so psyched up, right? And you're like, the scene is in 4 hours. Like what song am I gonna put on? And on this it was like, and now you're driving down the driveway, you're crying, action, go. And we just were. Like, I feel like it was all just right there because there was such just like the adrenaline of it all was so exciting.
Totally. I'm sure it was like, well, I'm sure some of it was fun, some of it was maybe like stressful with being like an indie set, but I'm sure there was just like so much playing.
It was partially like unstressful. I've been asked a lot of times, like, was this the most stressful thing you've done because it's your biggest project? And for me, it was kind of the opposite because the stakes were higher, but I'm so used to guerrilla filmmaking with no budget that it's like, if you need a prop, like, I have to make that prop. If there's a costume, and then I would show up on like prep days and people have like made costumes and built props. I'm like, holy shit, this is amazing. I think the one stressful day for me on set, where you were really talking me down, was the set where when Tim goes back to the cave and is kind of attacked by those hikers. And just the person that had spent 4 hours being sewn into that prosthetic, where she's essentially wearing the puppet of my corpse. And in the cave.
That's cameo.
That's my little cameo. And then they finally arrived on set because it took so long, and somebody tapped me on the shoulder and said, she's really uncomfortable, you need to wrap her up in 20 minutes. And I'm like, what? This is going to take 6 hours? And so I was just panicking the whole time, and you were just next to me, and I'm it's okay, she's fine. And she was fine, it was just miscommunication, but that really stressed me out.
That was a stressful day, and not to mention we were shooting on the cave set, but we were also shooting pickup shots around in 2 different corners of the studio. So it was like
including
Shanks,
the penis and
I was just gonna say, Shanks is watching Dave get attacked by this person, then we're like running over to where there's just like a gray wall and a little dildo sticking out of her underpants, and me holding my leg up being like, are you seeing a leg or the skirt over me? It was a wild day of, again, indie filming about trying to pick up all the little pieces. Blood is dripping down a table in another corner of the studio. But I have to say, the reason that this shoot was not stressful is all Shanks. Like, Shanks is the most professional first-time filmmaker I've ever worked with, and the vision was so strong, and your attitude was so fun. Like, you were so excited to be there, and I feel like that we all were. I think between you, me, and Dave, we all were just felt like we were getting away with something, getting to make this weird movie, and everything on set was truly so fun.
Well, thank you, and to compliment you back. The same is so true of you two. I've said this before, but like, when you start a film project, I am so passionate about this. This is my baby as the producers, as a you and Dave as producers. But then there's like crew who this is just another job that they've just come off 8 weeks on some Liam Neeson film shooting down in Melbourne called Ice Road Truckers 2: Road to the Sky. That was filming there.
Oh, really?
It looks bad. But sorry to be really worked on that film. But we have these crew members that we worked for 40 years, just guys that, move lights around and move dollies around. And they would come up to me and say, these two are the best bloody actors we've ever worked with. That actually happened on day 2. I think it was Shiloh or, but it was...
We had a great crew. The whole crew really was invested. I feel like, because that's the only way you do this in 21 days, is like, when we were shooting that driveway sequence, I feel like we all were sprinting. Like, crew members were like, yeah, we could pick up one more shot. Like,
you guys are
running
lights and running
wires.
around.
Yeah. It was a real group effort.
And I think what was really fun is, again, not to say like, how would be so crazy and unique, but how would be so crazy and unique? And, you arrive on set and you maybe shoot like the dinner scene first thing, and that's just kind of more conventional filmmaking. And then by lunchtime, the puppets would be wheeled out, and Dave Franco's got a hair down his throat, and everyone's like, what the fuck are we doing? And like every day there was some gag like that, and I think that made the crew really enlivened, because it was different to shooting, Neighbors, which a lot of them work on, that kind of thing.
Not the Dave Franco film.
Got it. And then with these set pieces that you're talking about, the action and the visual effects, you did some of that.
Yeah, I did so we have about 170 visual effects shots in the film, and I did about 130 of them, because we didn't have a budget. We had a budget, high producers, we didn't have a very big budget, and I have a background in visual effects, so it was like, you either do them yourself or you cut the scenes. There's no way I was going to cut the scenes. All like the amazing visual effects, like the kind of final transformation sequences, they're done by Framestore Melbourne, who did an incredible job. A special shout out to Genevieve Camilleri, who was our visual effects supervisor, and also did some of the shots herself. She did Tilly, the final character we see that we call Tilly.
We call the final piece Tilly.
That final shot, that was a Jen shot, which is so good. But yeah, most of the other shots, I just did myself, which was really fun. The aforementioned penis shot in the film, that is
It was Dave's real dick.
But in visual effects, I had to make it smaller. It was just no, that was like a dildo on some bicycle shorts. And so in the actual shot, you can see the realistic penis with the hair, and then it's just fake bicycle shorts. And so one of my visual effects shots was frame by frame rows scooping out the pubic hair and putting in fake skin. And whilst I was doing it, I was like, see, Mom, I made it. It was during those moments where I was like, what I'm doing sounds fancy, but it's really not.
As I was thinking about this too, I was like, I wonder at what stage David and Allison saw the film. Did you see it when it was done, or were you seeing it when it was
we were. Well, also because we're producers on it, we were watching dailies every night. We were seeing it as we were going. So it was all great and in the moment. I mean, to Shanks' point earlier about how we would kind of finish every day with a big set piece moment, that was really fun. I mean, it's not like we totally shot them in order, but in my mind, I do feel like every day felt like it was topping the last day. Like we shot the hair throat sequence, and it was like, this is the coolest scene in the movie! And then we shot the bathroom scene, we were like, this is the scene, this is the scene! And then we shot the hallway sequence, then we shot the driveway. It just was like, then the final transformation. That one was harder to visualize on the day, so it was just Dave and I standing naked all day, holding each other, which again, another day that was very comfortable to do with my husband.
That was a crazy day. You guys were being so vulnerable, and you were so cool about the whole thing.
But I had one weird prosthetic leg.
Yeah, you have a prosthetic leg. And there's this one shot where we're pulling out, you're both fully nude, and we just pull out to reveal your whole bodies. As you're hugging each other going, wah. And after we cut, you said to me Shanks, put a lot of faith that this isn't going to look ridiculous.
I will say, that was the only day where Dave and I were standing there sort of being like,
what are we doing?
This goes awry. Just footage of us naked with our faces smashed together, like, ah!
I wanted you guys to have like big white eyes, like looking away from each other as though you were like, oh, I don't know if I'm glad I'm going along with
It's
this.
a great reveal. I love the transformation sequence as it is in the final film because it's like, it goes from sort of a sense, you know, like a sort of a funny, nostalgic moment with the Spice Girls into like a really beautiful moment that's scored and you're actually going, oh, this is really gonna happen. And then when it pulls out, you really were like, and then we should see that it's painful. Like their bodies are really in pain, like they're trapped now. They made the decision and there's no going back.
It's too late.
Yeah, and I just think, yeah, you nailed it.
Thank you. We nailed it.
Yeah.
It's already been such an amazing festival run. What is like the rollout kind of been like, and the big sale at Sundance? What is it?
I mean, it's been incredible. You know, Sundance was our first screening ever. We didn't test screen this movie. So apparently, people test screen
Did a
movies.
couple small test screenings.
Yeah, with like crew. Oh, you did. But I didn't know that.
We did some test screenings we may not have told Shanks about.
But yeah, some like American opinions. I'm kidding.
They were small. I'm not trying to detract. Sundance, it was a huge moment.
It was certainly the first time I watched it with an audience. It was like 2,000 seat or something insane. And like my mom had flown over and like my partner had flown over and I remember in my right hand I was holding my partner's hand as the film was playing, just so nervous. And in my left hand I was holding Mike Cowell, the producer's hand, and I was like, oh my god! And then like, you're like 5 minutes into the movie, there's like a little laugh line.
It was at the proposals.
Yeah.
I'll never forget, because I actually went into that premiere just being like, I love this movie. We made the exact movie we wanted to make. It turned out like better than I even imagined. So I was so proud and excited. And then it's not till like the lights dipped down that I was like, oh, wait, it could, you never know how people react. And because the opening of the movie is, you know, very serious with the dogs. And the theater was so big and the music was so loud, we kind of couldn't hear the reaction of people like gasping for that first dog scare. So it just felt quiet. And then the proposal started to happen and the first wave of laughter came through and I felt like we all could take a sigh of relief.
Took a breath, and then like 2 minutes later, the mum under the blankets got like a big scare reaction, and I think we just kind of knew like, oh, it's working, it's alive!
Yeah.
Also, the mum under the blankets, another one of my visual effects shots, I'm quite proud of it.
That is
Nice.
That's a great scare. But the whole Sundance experience was like a dream. I feel like I've been to Sundance many times and I've never come close to something like this happening. It is like a very surreal moment. I feel like, you know, for Shanks as a first-time filmmaker, we're just like,
crazy.
it's not always this easy, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes years and years and years.
Well, I was also like, whilst at Sundance, I was so sick. I had norovirus, I had altitude sickness earlier in the day of our screening. I was in the emergency room with like fluids into my arm and like a gas mask on, and then a few hours later I had to be like, oh guys, welcome to the premiere of our film. But yeah, the adrenaline for that woke me up. And then we went to the after party, and the first person I saw was Dan Stevens, who was an actor I'm a fan of, and he was talking to my mom, who, and she loves him from Downton Abbey, and I was like, oh, that's incredible, everything's going so great. That was crazy.
I love it. Well, we're getting close to the end here, so I'd love to go back to some of these fun set stories, and end with your favorite moment from set, from some of these zany set pieces.
Oh wow. Well, I mean, I think about the 2 days in which we shot the hallway sequence. It was so fun. I think I was so pumped up drinking like really strong coffee and was like running around the set making jokes while Dave was shooting the first like really difficult part of the scene. But I just feel like everyone was so amped to shoot that scene, and the part when we got to where we were crushing up the drugs and snorting them and drinking it off the ground, and the members were like, what? Like, I feel like...
And we were doing this crazy whip pan thing that we haven't planned, and we were just like, oh, this keeps it alive and electric, let's just keep doing this.
We had talked through the choreography of that scene and worked through it, but there was no way to fully rehearse it until we were just in it going. And
You poor guys, you are just snorting that stuff and then like licking it up.
halfway through, we're like, what is this stuff? And I'm like, we don't really know. But I was like, it's in my throat. But my proudest moment also from that, it was really fun because, yeah, for the first half of the first day, it was Dave coming down that first part of the hallway, and I got to be behind the monitor with Shanks, and we were, Shanks was talking about how we're going to eventually pull his shirt up and reveal that his stomach is rippling, that his whole body is contorting to move him down the hall, and we should see the shirt moving under, and I was like, I can make it happen! And I ran out into the hall and put my hand under his shirt and asked the guys, am I off? And in this film, that is my hand under Dave's shirt. Talk about practical effects, baby. One of my proudest moments.
So detailed, just like make it work. Yeah.
Lying on the floor. You got it.
Yeah. That was great. A quick one for me that I'll mention. On that same scene, we had a contortionist double for you, and we weren't sure if we were going to do like a bunch of just for a bit. And we were like, we might want to do some face replacement. We don't know if we can afford that, but let's just get a take of Allison's face acting as though it's the scene, so it's a visual effects reference. And it's just this clip of you. You're on your knees, perfectly still going, why is this happening? And you're just like acting the whole, it's like 2 minutes. It's incredible. I really want to release that footage.
We did try to convince Dion to put this out as like a piece of publicity footage, and we didn't set, I sort of explained it to one of the execs, and they were like, oh. No, it's cool. It's worse when I explain it, because it just sounds like a narcissistic pitch, like, no, this is great footage. 2 minutes of my face. Acting.
Yeah, it will be released.
Online campaign now.
Yes.
And the only other sister I'll tell us very quickly because it's short, and we've already spoken about it because we're all perverts. But the day we were shooting the bathroom scene, and Larry came in and he said, open this box. Larry's our prosthetics guy. He's got a shoe box, open it up, full dildo, just like painted to look so realistic. And he also had a vulva because he didn't quite understand what the thing was.
That's right.
So he had this
There was a
really
horrifying
nasty
fake vagina.
fake vagina, and then it's like thrown in a box together. So it's kind of like 8 out. There's a child on set today. Why are we doing this?
The child was never in the room.
The child was never in the room.
None of us were. We struck it immediately.
Yes, we did. It was horrific.
Box out of here. Amazing. Well, again, huge congratulations. Film's incredible. It's going to blow everyone's mind. Blew everyone's minds here. Yeah, give it up.
I'd like to shout out to Christian Parks and Bianca Morin Parks, who are instrumental in this festival, and they can't be here today, which is really tragic. And they organized this whole thing. This is all here because of them. I just wanted to shout out to Christian.